Charlotte is a very happy little girl, a very confident little girl. She loves to perform, and she's a big personality.
A royal storm has erupted after Catherine's daughter made a life-changing decision that stunned both family and followers alike. Following a shocking DNA revelation that exposed the truth about her real paternity, she has chosen to cut all ties, sending shockwaves through the palace and beyond. The discovery not only challenges everything she believed about her identity, but also threatens to unravel the carefully crafted image of the royal family. So, what secrets lie beneath this bombshell? And how will it reshape the future forever? Let's dive in to find out. The shocking discovery. In what insiders are describing as one of the most shocking and destabilizing revelations in recent royal history, Princess Charlotte, the beloved daughter of Princess Catherine, has reportedly severed nearly all contact with several key figures within the palace. The reason, sources say, lies in the results of a routine medical test, one that was meant to provide standard health information, not upend a family's understanding of itself. According to close observers, the DNA screening, delivered quietly in a plain envelope to her London residence, contained findings that contradicted long-standing assumptions about her parentage. For a princess whose life has always been meticulously documented and publicly scrutinized, the revelation was nothing short of earth-shattering. What was intended to be a straightforward medical procedure instantly transformed into a personal crisis that has reportedly sent shockwaves throughout royal circles. Court insiders suggest that the news struck at the very heart of Charlotte's sense of identity. In a world where every move is calculated and every gesture observed, the discovery created a profound rupture in what she had long believed to be certain truths. Those closest to her describe a sudden, almost palpable tension that has permeated her interactions with family and advisors alike. Meetings that were once routine have reportedly been cancelled, and conversations that were once fluid have grown terse and hesitant, as Charlotte seemingly retreats from the intricate web of palace life. The palace, for its part, is said to be struggling to maintain a veneer of calm, but sources hint at quiet panic behind closed doors. Advisors and senior staff are reportedly grappling with how to address the situation, balancing the need for discretion with the emotional realities of a princess, grappling with questions about her own origins. The incident has not only unsettled those directly involved, but also sparked speculation and unease among other members of the royal family, leaving some questioning how such private personal discoveries can coexist with the relentless scrutiny of life within the palace. For Princess Charlotte, insiders suggest, the impact goes beyond the immediate emotional shock. The revelation, arriving in such a sudden and unexpected manner, appears to have fundamentally altered her approach to relationships and communication within the family, prompting a retreat that has left both relatives and palace officials uncertain about the path forward. As the palace navigates the fallout, one thing is clear: this discovery has disrupted the carefully orchestrated equilibrium of royal life, revealing the profound vulnerability that even those born into privilege and protocol cannot escape. But what led to the shocking discovery of the identity crises? Was there a royal family member in doubt of her true identity? Let's find out. From routine checkup to identity crisis. Charlotte had gone in for a medical screening like countless children do, a routine check intended to uncover hereditary health risks and ensure she received the care she needed. It was supposed to be ordinary, a small step in safeguarding her future. But what began as a standard precaution quickly spiraled into something far more unsettling. The test results revealed anomalies, genetic inconsistencies that did not align with the parentage Charlotte and her family had always taken for granted. At first, the anomalies were dismissed as potential errors, glitches in the complex machinery of modern medical testing. Perhaps it was a fluke, an oversight, something that could be corrected or explained away. But as independent laboratories ran their own tests, the same puzzling results surfaced, confirming the shocking truth. Charlotte's genetic profile did not match what had been assumed about her family lineage. For her guardians, the news was staggering. The foundation of their understanding of Charlotte's identity, the core narrative of who she was and where she came from, suddenly felt unstable. like the ground shifting beneath their feet. Emotions collided in a swirl of disbelief, confusion, and grief. How could a simple medical procedure intended to protect her health uncover a reality so profoundly destabilizing? The family found themselves thrust into an uncharted emotional terrain, facing questions they had never imagined asking. Who is Charlotte truly? How could the bonds they had always accepted as unbreakable now feel uncertain? Every day that followed was filled with tension and reflection. The guardians grappled not only with the scientific reality, but also with the personal and emotional implications. Memories, assumptions, and family stories were suddenly seen through a prism of doubt. Decisions, plans, and hopes for the future were all upended as they tried to reconcile love for Charlotte with the disorienting new knowledge of her origins. What was meant to be a routine step in healthcare, a precautionary measure to safeguard a child's well-being, had instead become a life-altering moment. In one swift revelation, the family was forced to confront truths that had always been invisible, to navigate a reality where identity, trust, and belonging were suddenly in question. For Charlotte and those who loved her, nothing would ever feel entirely the same again. How did the members of the royal family react to the revelation? How was it managed? Let's take a look at the royal family as they handle the revelation of Charlotte's true paternity. Royal family in turmoil. The revelation has sent shockwaves through the palace, rippling far beyond a private family matter. Sources suggest that senior officials, legal advisors, and communication strategists are working around the clock, crafting a range of contingency plans to address the fallout. These plans reportedly span the spectrum, from a firm, outright denial to carefully calibrated statements designed to acknowledge the truth while minimizing damage. Every word is being scrutinized, every response weighed, as the monarchy seeks to protect not only its image but the delicate fabric of its centuries-old institution. At the heart of this turmoil is Princess Catherine. According to insiders, she finds herself caught in a profound and painful conflict. Her maternal instincts urge her to shield her daughter, Charlotte, from the intense scrutiny and speculation that such a revelation invites. Yet, as a senior member of the royal family, Catherine must also consider her responsibilities to the monarchy itself. She is reportedly navigating an intricate web of emotion and protocol, balancing the instinct to protect her child with the heavy weight of duty, a challenge that has left even the most seasoned observers astonished. Those close to her say she is deeply conflicted, acutely aware that every choice carries consequences not only for Charlotte, but for the institution she represents. Meanwhile, King Charles is said to be observing developments with measured attention. Having faced his own share of public scrutiny over the years, he reportedly understands the subtle tension between personal loyalty and the expectations placed upon the crown. Sources indicate that he is carefully considering the palace's next steps, weighing the potential impact on both the family and the public's perception of the monarchy. Every action, every statement, is under intense consideration, with the king reportedly seeking to strike a balance between protecting his family and preserving the dignity and stability of the institution he leads. The palace's approach, insiders say, is unprecedented in its intensity and precision. Contingency teams are preparing for all eventualities, from media storms and public outcry to private negotiations behind closed doors. The revelation has forced the monarchy into uncharted territory, blending the intensely personal with the profoundly political. While Catherine's focus remains on her daughter, the ripple effects extend across every layer of royal life, touching advisors, courtiers, and officials who must respond to a situation that is both delicate and explosive. In this high-stakes environment, emotions are raw, and the stakes could not be higher. Princess Catherine, torn between love and duty, and King Charles, tasked with guiding the monarchy through turbulent waters, are reportedly locked in a careful, deliberate assessment of each move. The world watches with anticipation, aware that what unfolds may reshape perceptions of the royal family, alter the dynamics within the palace, and challenge the boundaries between private grief and public responsibility. In this unfolding drama, every decision matters, and no one can predict where it will lead. The revelation would definitely give rise to questions about concealed secrets. Was Catherine involved in a scandal? Let's dive into the details of the eventual royal scrutiny on Catherine's past. Hidden timelines and buried secrets. Sources indicate that renewed scrutiny over the timeline of Princess Catherine's personal relationships prior to the birth of Princess Charlotte has intensified an already simmering drama within royal circles. Insiders suggest that the exact timing of these relationships is now under a microscope, as experts attempt to reconcile public appearances with private liaisons. Royal historians and genealogists, long accustomed to sifting through centuries of archives, are reportedly poring over photographs, letters, and personal correspondence, hoping to uncover subtle hints or overlook details that could shed light on what some are calling a pivotal chapter in the royal family's story. Every detail is being examined. Vacation photos, social invitations, and even casual notes once considered trivial are now being revisited with newfound significance. The unfolding inquiry appears to touch periods that were previously assumed to be private, mundane, or inconsequential. This has prompted a wave of speculation among commentators and court insiders alike. Observers are asking whether hidden truths about relationships, alliances, or social interactions, long shielded from public view, might explain inconsistencies in timelines or previously unexplained absences. Each revelation seems to raise as many questions as it answers, and the gaps in public record have fueled both curiosity and controversy. Analysts suggest that these moments of secrecy could now be central to understanding the broader narrative, hinting at decisions and dynamics that have remained largely invisible until now. Within days of the emerging revelations, tensions reportedly escalated among family members. Some relatives are said to have taken on the role of mediators, attempting to reconcile differing accounts and soothe fragile emotions. Others, by contrast, are described as withdrawing from public and private gatherings, choosing distance over confrontation as the drama unfolds. The impact on Princess Charlotte herself, while shielded from the media spotlight, is reportedly significant. Sources close to the family describe her as experiencing a profound identity crisis, grappling with questions about personal history and lineage that few are ever confronted with at such a young age. The emotional weight of the situation, insiders suggest, has introduced a layer of vulnerability rarely associated with royal appearances and poise. As historians and genealogists continue their meticulous work, the story is expected to evolve further. Each newly uncovered letter or photograph could provide context, or equally, spark fresh speculation about a sequence of events that may redefine long-held assumptions. The combination of private reflection, family negotiation, and public curiosity has created a complex tableau in which personal, historical, and social narratives intersect. For the royal family, the challenge is delicate, balancing the preservation of privacy with the unavoidable curiosity surrounding these revelations, all while managing the emotional fallout among those closest to the story. In short, what began as a matter of chronology has become a broader inquiry into identity, loyalty, and legacy. An unfolding drama that continues to captivate both royal observers and the wider public, leaving lingering questions about the true nature of relationships, timing, and the private lives behind the public image. What implication does this revelation have on the monarchy? Is the royal family set to bear the aftermath? Let's delve into the details of how royal paternity shapes dynasties. The politics of blood. When it comes to monarchy, blood is far more than a family tie. It is the very lifeblood of authority, the invisible thread that binds power, privilege, and succession. In the rarefied world of royalty, heritage is everything. And a question about lineage is no mere curiosity. It is a weapon capable of toppling empires. To suggest that a prince or princess might not be of true royal blood is to threaten the foundation upon which a dynasty rests. It is to plant doubt in the minds of the powerful, to fuel whispers of betrayal, and to open doors for rivals lurking in the shadows. Throughout history, the paternity of heirs has not only fascinated the public, but also served as a silent battlefield where loyalty and ambition collide with devastating intensity. Royal paternity has long been a matter of political as well as personal concern. The legitimacy of a future king or queen is never a trivial matter, for the very survival of a lineage and the nation it governs can hinge upon it. A single rumor, carefully whispered in the right ears, can spark suspicion, ignite family feuds, and even justify coups. Medieval courts were particularly ruthless in this regard. Allegations of illegitimacy could lead to banishment, imprisonment, or even death. Bloodlines were guarded with ferocious secrecy, and alliances were forged and shattered over the faintest hint of impropriety. To be born royal was to inherit not only wealth and prestige, but also a scrutiny so intense that private lives could be weaponized at any moment. This tension between perception and truth continues to this day, albeit in different forms. Modern royalty may no longer contend with dagger-wielding rivals in candlelit halls, but the stakes remain high. Tabloids and social media turn every private moment into public spectacle, dissecting family trees with relentless intensity. A question about parentage, once confined to hushed conversations behind palace doors, can now erupt worldwide in headlines, social feeds, and television broadcasts reaching millions in minutes. The consequences are rarely just emotional, they are political. Even the faintest insinuation can tarnish reputations, destabilize public perception, and challenge centuries-old traditions. Throughout history, challenges to royal lineage have rarely stemmed from genuine concern over genetics. More often, they have been a strategic maneuver, a tool in the arsenal of those seeking power or influence. Courts have seen scheming advisors, ambitious cousins, and rival factions weaponize doubt to advance their own agendas. Each accusation, whether whispered in shadowed corridors or screamed from newspaper front pages, has the potential to redraw the lines of inheritance, privilege, and power. It is a reminder that in royalty, family is never only personal, it is profoundly political. Even as times change, the fascination endures. The public is captivated by tales of hidden parentage, secret liaisons, and disputed heirs, as if the bloodlines of kings and queens hold the same magnetic pull as any great drama. Yet behind the intrigue lies a chilling truth. To be born into royalty is to be a living symbol of continuity and authority, and any crack in that lineage, real or imagined, can reverberate far beyond the palace gates. Power, legacy, and blood are intertwined in ways that make every accusation a potential earthquake, every doubt a spark capable of igniting centuries of tension. In the world of monarchy, legitimacy is sacred, and lineage is everything. The question of paternity is never just personal. It is a matter of dynastic survival. From medieval intrigue to modern headlines, the battle over royal bloodlines continues, a testament to the enduring power, peril, and fascination of inheritance. Is this the first of its kind with the British monarchy? Does history have such a mix-up recorded in the royal lineage? Let's dig into the details of one of the most shocking royal secrets. Richard III's DNA reveals shocking royal secrets. In a discovery that has reignited fascination with royal history, a DNA analysis of the skeleton found in 2012 beneath a Leicester car park has not only confirmed it belongs to King Richard III, but also uncovered a surprising twist that could rewrite centuries of British royal genealogy. Researchers say their study has revealed evidence of what they call false paternity, a situation where the presumed father listed in historical records may not have been the biological parent. This revelation raises intriguing questions about the legitimacy of certain royal lines throughout history. The team, led by University of Leicester geneticist Turi King, confirmed with remarkable certainty that the skeleton was indeed Richard III, who famously fell at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485, ending the Wars of the Roses. By comparing the remains to living descendants of Richard's sister, Anne of York, the researchers were able to establish a genetic match beyond reasonable doubt. In other words, the identity of the skeleton as that of the last Plantagenet king is all but indisputable. Yet when the researchers traced the male line, descending from John of Gaunt, the brother of Richard III's great-grandfather, the DNA did not align. This discrepancy indicates that somewhere along the lineage, a child's recorded father was not the actual biological father, a phenomenon known as false paternity. While the exact moment or individual remains unknown, the implications are staggering. It suggests that the official family tree of England's monarchy may not be as historically precise as previously thought. The possibility of one or more false paternity events in this genealogy could carry profound historical significance. The study, published in Nature Communications, notes, "Such events, though seemingly minor at the time, have rippled through history, potentially altering our understanding of royal succession, inheritance, and the legitimacy of claims to the throne." Richard III's skeleton, which lay hidden for over 5 centuries, is scheduled to be reinterred in Leicester in March next year, offering a moment of historical reflection not just on the king himself, but on the complex and sometimes uncertain truths behind the monarchy. What this research highlights is the way modern science can intersect with centuries-old history, revealing that the stories we thought were fixed may, in fact, hold surprises waiting to be uncovered. The discovery serves as a reminder that history is not merely a static record of names and dates. It is a living, evolving tapestry, sometimes marked by secrets, errors, and revelations that challenge our understanding of the past. A king's bones have done more than confirm a long-standing historical narrative. They have opened a window into the hidden intricacies of royal lineage, sparking debate and curiosity that will undoubtedly continue for years to come. Here goes another scandal that shook the British monarchy severely. Who was involved? What damage resulted from the scandal? Let's find out. The warming pan baby scandal. Few scandals in history capture the blend of politics, paranoia, and sheer absurdity quite like the infamous warming pan baby affair of 1688. If you studied European history in school, it might ring a bell, but even today, the story reads like something out of a historical thriller. James II of England was no stranger to controversy. By the time his wife, Mary of Modena, gave birth to a son, the king was already deeply unpopular. His open Catholicism in a predominantly Protestant nation had made him a figure of distrust, and his political decisions were stirring unrest among his subjects. The birth of a male heir should have been a cause for celebration, a moment to solidify the king's dynasty and reassure supporters. But instead of triumph, the birth sparked a firestorm of suspicion and scandal. Almost immediately, whispers began circulating in the courts and among the populace. The rumor was outrageous. Mary's newborn son was not, in fact, her own child. According to the story, a conspiracy had been orchestrated to smuggle a baby into the royal birth chamber, hidden inside a warming pan, a shallow metal tray traditionally used to heat beds. The purpose? To present a male heir when there had been none. It was, quite literally, a fake baby scandal, designed to cast doubt on the legitimacy of James II's heir. The notion itself was patently ridiculous. Warming pans were small, flimsy, and utterly incapable of hiding an entire infant. Yet the story gained momentum. Why? Because it was convenient. It served as a perfect tool for political enemies to undermine the king, stoke public fear, and fuel opposition to his rule. In a time when rumors could shape the course of a nation, the idea of a switched or smuggled royal baby, newspapers, pamphlets, and gossip spread the tale, and soon even the most absurd elements of the story were treated as plausible by those already predisposed to distrust the monarchy. The scandal was not just about an infant or a metal pan. It was a symbolic attack on James II himself. The claim that the king's heir might be a fraud suggested that the entire reign was built on deception. For political opponents, it became a rallying cry. If the king could not be trusted to produce a legitimate heir, why should the nation trust him with governance? The story, as outlandish as it was, helped justify the political upheaval that followed. Within months, tensions escalated. culminating in the Glorious Revolution of 1688, which would see James II deposed and replaced by William III and Mary II. In hindsight, the warming pan baby affair is a fascinating lesson, and political opportunism can combine to create historical legend. It shows how people can manipulate even the most improbable tales to achieve power and influence. A small, ordinary household object was transformed into a symbol of conspiracy and deceit, forever linking domestic life with the high-stakes drama of monarchy and revolution. Ultimately, the episode reminds us that history is rarely just about facts. It's also about perception. In the charged political climate of 17th century England, a single rumor, no matter how impossible, could shake a kingdom to its core, proving that sometimes the warming pan baby remains one of the most colorful examples of this phenomenon. A blend of scandal, intrigue, and political strategy that still captivates historians and storytellers alike. What are the likely impacts of the DNA revelation on the monarchy? Is history likely going to repeat itself? Let's find out. A royal crisis like no other. The impact of this DNA revelation is enormous, rippling far beyond the private walls of the royal family. What was once considered a quiet, untouchable lineage has suddenly been thrown into the spotlight, raising questions that reach to the very heart of the monarchy itself. For Charlotte, the young princess whose life has been shaped by her place within the royal narrative, this discovery strikes at her sense of identity. Suddenly, the familiar markers of family, heritage, and belonging feel uncertain. Who she thought she was, and how she fits into the story of one of the world's most scrutinized families. But the consequences extend well beyond personal identity. The DNA finding has the potential to shake centuries-old assumptions about succession and inheritance. Monarchies thrive on continuity, the careful passing of titles and privileges from one generation to the next. A revelation like this disrupts that order, forcing historians, royal advisors, and legal experts to confront questions that were never meant to see the light of day. How will this affect future claims to the throne? Could it alter public perception of the family's legitimacy? These are not idle questions. They strike at the core of an institution that has long relied on tradition, secrecy, and carefully curated narratives. As news spreads, public fascination has reached a fever pitch. Every media outlet is dissecting the story, from respected historians and investigative journalists to the relentless chatter of social media commentators. Analysts are poring over old photographs, interviews, and family accounts, searching for clues, trying to reconstruct a timeline that may never fully reveal the truth. The story has become a global conversation, with speculation running wild and opinions divided. Some view it as a shocking scandal, while others see it as a deeply human story of family, identity, and truth. For the monarchy, the challenge is both practical and symbolic. They must navigate an unprecedented crisis, balancing transparency with discretion and maintaining public confidence while addressing a revelation that could forever alter the family's public image. Trust is fragile, and in an era of instant news and viral headlines, even minor missteps are magnified, leaving the institution vulnerable to scrutiny it has never faced in quite this way. One thing is undeniable: the royal story the world believed it understood has been irreversibly changed. Secrets once buried have emerged, and the reverberations are only beginning. Charlotte faces a personal reckoning, the monarchy confronts institutional challenges, and the public witnesses a drama that blurs the lines between private pain and public spectacle. In a single revelation, the carefully constructed tapestry of tradition and expectation has been pulled apart, leaving questions that may shape the royal family for generations to come. The fallout is just beginning, and the world is watching with bated breath. But do you think history is about to repeat itself with the DNA revelation? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.